And we're live. Hello, friends. Super excited to join you today to talk about office hours. So just give me a moment while, yeah, there we go. Now we've got that YouTube video. For those who are here for the first time, let me explain what this is all about. So KCD Office Hours is my chance to answer your questions and yeah, whatever things you're wondering about or whatever. As always, you can go to the Call Kent podcast and make a recording right here and ask your question over audio. And that is actually my preferred method for answering questions, but not all questions can be answered over audio. And sometimes you just want to ask directly, or maybe you can't record your question or whatever. I don't know. And so for everybody else, we have office hours where you can post in the office hours channel on Discord, and I will do my best to answer. And whether or not you're available during office hours, I can answer, and then you can watch the recording later. So, and also, my bot created a chat for this, but I actually just pushed a change, so it won't do this again. Because we yeah, don't do office hours happens in here. Okay. So that's it for the introduction. I always give priority to people who are actually in the Zoom call, and then I go through the questions that are in here, I think starting right around here. So let's start with whoever has their first question here in the Zoom call.
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing, Renee?
Good. How about you?
Doing awesome.
Sweet. I don't know how easy this is to dissect, but I have a question about Vite. Specifically, currently have a React app that's using Parcel just to bundle the JavaScript part, because that's all we need is just like the JavaScript bundle. We don't need the HTML and all the other stuff that usually happens. It seems like an extraneous dependency that, since I'm using Vite, could probably get done otherwise, but I just don't know how to tell Vite, hey, I just want the JavaScript part, omit everything else, just build that. Don't know if you know that off the top of your head or a place to point.
So yes, it does sound like an extraneous dependency there. The Vite is also intended to be for like full applications, I think. I've never personally used it, but I would be surprised if it didn't have some sort of just point it to a JavaScript file and bundle it in all of its dependencies.
Yeah.
So that may exist. I just don't know. But something to sorry, what?
Oh, I said, yeah, that's no sweat. Yeah,
something to think about though is Vite just uses ESBuild under the hood. And so you may be able to just use ESBuild, the one that comes along with Vite. I don't know if that's, it's not exactly kosher or like the proper way to do it, but yeah, you may be able to just get away with that.
Cool.
In any case, if all you need is basic bundling, you don't need like special Babel plugins or anything weird like that, then I would probably just make my own little script that uses ESBuild.
Gotcha.
And actually, I've got something to point you to.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
My bot actually used to do this, but it doesn't anymore. But my bot, the rewrite of my bot is based on the Remix Discord bot that I made when I was still at Remix. Yeah, so the bot stuff lives inside the bot directory, and so to build that, I had build bot, and so you can look at what this is doing. Pretty straightforward, I think.
Cool.
So yeah, give that a look.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah, good luck. I guess I should mention, it can be easier than this if what you really want is bundling. What this was doing was taking all the files and building each individually. So it sounds like you actually would prefer the bundle, and that makes it even easier. You'd probably just use the CLI rather than a script.
Cool. So. Thanks.
Yep. All right, who's next? And you're always
Uh,
welcome to just join the Zoom and just chill and hang out. You don't have to have a question if you're in Zoom.
yeah, hi Kent.
Hi.
I have two questions that I posted on Discord. Yeah,
Oh,
there
there
is
you are.
one,
Awesome. There's that
and
one.
there is one above. Yeah.
Very cool. I'll look at the question and then you can fill me in with any details if I'm missing anything.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that'll be sweet. You'll get like 3 different
Yeah.
emojis. Collect them all. Yeah, I think the emoji is probably going to be the space emoji. So we'll that'll
And
I
not the
can't wait for
sparkle.
people to start getting that too. So yeah, anyway, thank you. So I upgraded to React Router 6.4. Good for you. That's exciting. So you're having some trouble with the tests. To verify the
Yeah.
submit function of use fetcher is called with precisely the content of form data. Let's take a look. I have not tried this myself, so we are learning together. So you've got this submit refusal, submitting some form data, and you are expecting submit to have been called with this stuff. Okay, test is failing. Okay.
Yeah, this is wrong. There is only one expect anything. And the first object is.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So what I did is that I mock the global form data to check into in the second time what's in it after the test is done.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I think I would probably do is I would say, let's see, let's submit. I haven't done this in a little bit, but .mock, that has all the properties of the mock. .calls, that I think is wrong. What is it? I feel like there's another property somewhere. Just mock function. There it is. Yeah, it's .mock.calls, and that's going to have an array of arrays. So an array of every time it's called, and the inner array is the arguments it was called with. And so that's how you can get the actual argument it was called with, and you could iterate over the entries of that form data to assert on those. So it'd be mock calls, first call, and then the way that you're calling it, yeah, first argument to the first call, this would be your form data. And then you can expect the form data.entries to equal, and that'll be an array of arrays of all of your entries in that form data. So it'd be like name, Bob,
Nice.
something like that. Something that's probably the approach that I would look at first.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll try.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thanks for that link there, Nick. And then for your other question.
Yeah.
Upgrading, change. Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah. So we do have yeah, bugs here. So if I change the memory router for the data memory router, render does not change. So have you tested this yet with
No, I just found it just like 2 minutes before the Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try, but it's probably gonna fix it, yes.
Yeah, maybe so. So I may be alone on this. I'm pretty sure that Ryan and Michael both disagree with me. But I do not think you should use the memory router for your tests. I think you should use the regular router because in a JS DOM environment, it is simulating location, and like you click on links, it updates stuff. Like, so I think that it's pretty reasonable to test with the regular router. And in fact, what I typically do in at least in a non-remix app, still need to figure out the best way to do this in a remix app. But I will take the app component. So here, this is a create React app. But yeah, so I'll take this component. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. Is it that one? It is. Well, here, I'll just show you the test utils. This app providers. Yeah, that's coming from the context. So I'll take the, oh, no, that's not going to help. Source, context, index. Yeah, so these are the app providers that wrap my entire app. That includes my router. So I'll just take the exact same component that I'm rendering in my app and make that be the wrapper for all of my React testing library tests. And then my initial route is just a window history push state here. So like I'm just using the regular history APIs before I render, so that it renders on, it renders out to the right route. I think that gives you the benefit of just like testing the way that your app is actually structured. So and I have yet to run into a situation where I felt like, oh man, I wish I was using the memory router. Like it just, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Thank you.
Yeah, give both a shot and let me know what you think.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yep, sure thing. Andrew or Nick, do you have a question? Yeah, it looks like Andrew does, looking for the mute button.
You can hold space, but
Yeah, classic mistake. Hey, Kent.
Hi.
So I have a test here. So I have an MSW backend with a DB that you suggested. It's whatever the factory MSW did. Oh no, it's MSW suggested MSW/data DB, and so basically I have this status that changes over time that I'm trying to mock out on MSW. So that's working fine right now. What I can't get to work is like an error state that like assume an error comes up in the back end and it sends back an error status, not like 500 error, just like an error status from an object. And so I'm just wondering, like, I couldn't get it to work just like normally. I guess I could try to pass custom handlers to that particular test, but I'm actually not sure how to do that. So I'm if you're understanding what I'm saying, I'm just asking like what approach should I take when I'm thinking about this, how to test that error state.
Yeah. So let me restate what you said to make sure I understand. So you've got a test and you've got the happy path working, like your handlers are all handling the happy path, which is good. That's the way that should be written. And then, but you want to test the bad path, like what happens when things are not good. So your question is how do I test that? So we've got this where is this thing? Yeah, define mocks. No, maybe integrate. Where's this thing? There's no search. There is a .use. There's a use function you can call set up server. Here it is. So this use function allows you to define server handlers in the middle of a test. And so you just say, and then I never I pretty much always have a restore handlers in a, where is it? Nope, I don't put it there. I put it in a after each.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that way any test can just like throw whatever handlers it wants, and then after each they all get removed. In fact, here's an example. In the Bookshelf app as part of Epic React. Where is it? There's a setup test. Here we go. So I have my server listen in a before all, after all, server close, and after each reset handlers. And yeah, not restore. Hold on a second. I forgot the difference. Yeah, one-time use, I think, and then reset that were added on runtime after the initial setup server. Yeah, so this is what you want. Okay. So I will post a link to this in our Discord here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Good luck. This can be challenging for Cypress tests if you're using MSW with Cypress, because your tests live separate from your app where MSW is doing stuff. And I'm still not sure how to do that. I will figure out how to do that with Epic Web for sure. So yeah, eventually we'll get to a live stream where I'm working through that. But yeah, for the test that you're writing, this should work just fine.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
Any other questions in the Zoom before I go over to Discord? All right, stellar. So Bruce was actually asking about this when I was doing my Epic announcement live stream, talking about Epic Web, and just didn't find the right channel to put this in. Consider kicking off the project with this. I don't know what this is. Living documentation, Serenity BDD. Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not going to do anything like change the way that I would develop an application for the purposes of Epic Web, because even if that might be a better way to do it, because what I'm teaching is how I build applications, and where I found success in doing that. And so if I try something new, I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. So no, I'm not going to use something I haven't used before. Cell phones are turned off when casting. That's not going to happen. Sorry, Bruce. My life and my wife come first. And if I was, if you were paying for an hour of my time or something, then yeah, I'm going to prioritize that. But for the free stuff that I do, no, sorry. All right, Murat, having some trouble with an app that they've got with user event v13, but v14, it breaks. So it's not just a straight upgrade. You do have to change some of your code. And so that's part of the reason why I wanted to see some error output and stuff, because I knew I'd be able to see some of the code here. And it looks like there are 2 test failures, I guess. There's 2 red spots and only 1 red X. I wonder what's going on there. But yeah, so here, heroes.map is not a function. This doesn't tell me enough. Yeah, I have no idea why that could be based on the information that I have here. And then unable to find element by data sci about. So this is I suppose this by test ID is a custom query. You must have altered it and changed it yourself, because normally test ID would be data test ID instead. But that's fine. So what we're seeing here though is an empty div. I don't know how an update to user event could impact that. I wouldn't expect it to, because you are awaiting the click. That was the change in v14, is all the user event functions turned async. And so you are awaiting that, and waiting for the delay in all of the events and everything as is correct. So yeah, I'm not sure what is causing this failure. I suppose I can run this though, and we'll see if we can do something with that. And that's interesting. No such file or directory, huh? It yeah, and it stuck a yarn lock in my and a node modules on my desktop. So did not CD? Huh. Oh, we missed the TS. Or -TS, and then I'll do. Oh, and it looks like that is not actually a command, so I will have to do that myself. Here, while that's happening, let's pull up. Whoops, don't need that. I want that. Okay, and we've got source and app test. Is that the test that was failing? I think so. Yep, app test. Wait, this is taking forever. Is that number of files? There's a lot of files. Node SAS. So many dependencies these days. Think of it as code you didn't have to write to get what you get. Not always necessarily code you would have wanted to write, but yeah. Here we go. Well, we'll just take a look here. We've got our app. We've got our handlers for MSW, server listen, reset handlers, all that good stuff. We render our app, user click. Okay. Cool. Let's look at the setup tests. Oh, I didn't realize we had that configuration option. I forgot about that, I guess. Man, why is Yarn taking so long? There we go. Okay. Yeah. So let's just run app. Okay, it is working. And then if we go yarn update, is that the right thing? Testing library user event upgrade. Is that what is it doing what I think it's doing? No, it's not. Yarn, I don't know how to use yarn.
You might need the -- latest flag, maybe.
Maybe what I need is at latest, and then we do install or add. There we go. Is that going to do it? Yeah, looks like that's what it's doing. And we're using the wrong version or an old version of testing library DOM. That could definitely be a problem. So we may need to update our version of React testing library so we get that version of testing library DOM, or let's see. I need to update all of these to the latest, frankly. Man, this is just dog slow. I wonder why. Yeah, let's see. Let's just see what happens if I update this to the latest version of all these things. And you know what? Who cares about yarn? I'm not going to use yarn. We're going to just use npm instead. Actually, yarn and node modules, and then run install. Okay, and while that's happening, we'll come back to that. I'll get to some other questions. Okay, Matt Bevis. Super excited about Epic Web, as am I. Just a quick note. At work, we have a bunch of different ESLint configs for both our Node.js backends and React frontends. Do you know of any place where I could look that provide good standards, for example, or example configs I could use? And secondly, is there a good way to set this up with Prettier? I've used Prettier in the past and it's been great. Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of configs out there that you're going to find, and they're going to have varying degrees of reasonableness. I tend to be on the side of, if it doesn't actively help me catch bugs, then don't turn it on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and as far as like setting it up with Prettier, I do not. The only integration that I do with between Prettier and ESLint is the ESLint plugin that disables ESLint rules, or ESLint config that disables ESLint rules that Prettier renders useless. ESLint Prettier config something.
Filing.
This one, yeah. Turns off all the rules that Prettier makes useless. So I definitely do that. Some people like, oh, did you just, thank you, Nick. Yeah, so I definitely use that. And then also and some people like to, there's an ESLint plugin that like applies Prettier fixes on your code through ESLint. I do not like that. I just separate. One's for formatting, one's for catching bugs, separate things. I also strongly advise the use of TypeScript. That renders a lot more ESLint rules unnecessary. Also adds some new ones, and so there's TypeScript ESLint. There's a whole project there that I suggest you take advantage of. Also, it's got handy stuff, handy rules and stuff. But just in general, I would strongly advise against overdoing it with regard to rules and stuff. Okay. That is that one. Let's see how our install. Yeah, man, it's going so slow. And that's all the questions other than this one that we're installing deps for. So let's just see how that's going. Man, I thought like Yarn was going slow, so I just assumed something weird was going on with Yarn, but it looks like we got some pretty weighty dependencies or something. Right now it's working on the styled icons. Maybe that's really like a big dep or something. Just notice you have TypeScript in your dependencies. You probably don't want it there. Doesn't really matter, but it's just dependency hygiene. Because like in particular, because this is a bundled thing before it's deployed, so there's no like install on the server where this ends up running. And so it doesn't really matter where the dependencies go technically, but just for good dependency hygiene, I'd probably stick TypeScript in the dev deps, as well as npm run all and node sass. And I'm guessing JSON server also, because I'm guessing that's just a dev tool that you're using. What is Bulma? I do not know what Bulma is. Modern CSS framework based on Flexbox. Very interesting. Yeah, I wonder why this is taking so long. Well, anyway, while we're waiting for that, I can also come into here because I know we're going to need, yeah, forget you. I don't need you. We're also going to need a wait here and a wait here. And that should be sufficient. Oh, good grief. There we go. Thank you. And kaboo. Yeah. Heroes map not a function. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Let's dive into the app. Yeah, so we've got our query client provider. Our routes, heroes. And when we render, we're just on our home page. Navigate. Oh, okay. So this should navigate us over to heroes. And hero list. Here's map. And heroes comes from our props. Heroes comes from here. Use get heroes. Interesting. So if map is not a function, then what is heroes? Not defined. Well, that's because I misspelled it. Okay. Heroes has a data property. Yeah, this is very strange that upgrading just a testing library thing would change the type here. Huh. Okay, this is very, very odd. Get item heroes. Huh. Why are we getting villains back, I wonder? Okay, this is getting crazy. I wouldn't actually destructure like this necessarily. But so now heroes is what we want it to be. We're not getting that error. And we are getting this thing. We're not able to find the loading text. And that, I can tell you, is one of the reasons that I was so hesitant to make the testing library do or user event move to await on every interaction. So what's happening is we click, you instantly get a loading, and then it resolves into the finished loading state before you get a chance to assert on the loading state. And I believe I've answered this in office hours before, and I think the solution to this is we have the promise there, and then yeah, and then await promise. I think that did not work. Yeah, it happens too fast. What did I do? There was something I did. What if we await? I can't remember. It was in an office hours. Yeah, let's what if I do like no, because this yeah, what if yeah, it's still not working. Yeah, I don't think that I have time to dive too much deeper into this. If next time you're available to like go back and forth, I have questions about how things are set up. I'm very curious as to why this needed to change just because the upgrade that we did. That seems unusual, but I don't know enough about your data model and stuff to be able to answer that specifically. Kind of have a feeling there's something to do with this. Yeah, I have no idea. We're getting heroes and villains. That makes sense. We are sending back an object that has a data property that has heroes and villains on it. So that does match up with this. That is correct. But why we're getting this now when we weren't before is puzzlement to me. Also, dang it, I just wish I could remember how we test the loading state. User right click, get by text. Maybe I should just pull up the app. We're loading heroes forever, I guess. Connection refused. Oh, because I don't have the API server running, I suppose. Oops. There we go. Try that. Okay. Click heroes. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, I see. So we click on about, expect about to be visible, And then we click on heroes and we expect to see loading. And I bet I'll see it better. No, I don't see loading. And I don't think you would, because what's happening is we render this app. And the way that you have it set up, if I land on here, then I get redirected to heroes. Then I load my heroes, and then I come to about, and then I go back, and that's in the cache because you're using React Query. And so I would not expect to get this loading here because I already had it when I was here. Yeah, and there is no not found component in this case. So this comment is incorrect. You are going to be on the heroes page right here. Okay, anyway, I hope some of that is helpful. Yeah, I'll just mention here. Just answered. And that is going to do it for today's office hours, unless there are any other last questions before I say ta-ta. Okay, cool. Well, I am not planning on live streaming this afternoon because, well, hold on a second. I might live stream, actually. I'm going to go upstairs, take a break, give my kid a high five, and then we'll, yeah, I'll probably live stream until like 3. So for a good 2 hours, I think I will. I have some calls to make too, so might be a little bit later, but I'll put it on the calendar as soon as I know. And good grief. If we go to kentcdawes.com/live, then you'll find I added the calendar right here. So you can take a look at when my office hours are and when my cancellations for office hours are and stuff like that too, which is nice. Maybe I should put the same calendar on the office hours page somewhere, but I do link to it over here. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be fun. Thanks, everybody. We will see you all in the future. Bye.